When you're ready, go ahead.
Hey, Joe, can you take us through that last shot there? You guys are down one. It didn't seem like you necessarily needed a three, but just was it the screen? Was it the play? What was that play?
It was kind of both. Hello. Okay. Yeah, it was kind of both. It was a great setup. We were pretty patient. I'm just telling Nneka, like, it was such a great screen. It's hard not to take that shot. It's a really good setup, but it's this whole game tonight was really just team effort. Everyone made big plays, big shots throughout the game, and that's what we're gonna need. It's not always gonna be pretty, but we're able to come up with some big stops too, and allowed us to kind of be in that position. But yeah, it was a great pass, great screen, and we were able to knock that shot down.
Just as you guys entered this game, just I don't know if pressure is the right word, but just as you guys have come out of the break, how much pressure was there on you guys to like win this game and to turn things around?
I think there's an understanding that all these games are super important, and we want to make sure that we're locked in and executing our game plan, and we want to come out here and set the tone. And that's what was said in practice coming up is understanding, we want to set the tone from just how we play, just effort. And I, keep saying, no matter make or miss, turnover or not, like just play hard, just play. We can't control everything, but we control how our mindset is and our perspective on things. And I think that's where we're at right now.
Nneka, you and Tina Charles were battling all night long. She ended up with a triple double. Just talk about the battle between you two.
It was a battle of the vets. I've been guarding Tina my whole career, including in college. It's always a really great, challenging matchup, and she's the type of player that makes me better.
And Jewell, you obviously have been through multiple championships now, but for this specific team, I felt like this was one of your guttier wins. You're down 4 with like 90 seconds to go. You finish on an 8-0 run. Kind of talk about what happened during that 8-0 run, and then just also like what that means that you can build off of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important to understand, like, it's just execution. We're really locked in our timeouts, and we were really just communicating. Nneka said after the game, these are the games that you want to be in, that, are going to get us to where we need to go. And I feel like tonight was a good segment of that because we could win these kind of games. We know we could win, hopefully, you always want to blow out, right? But that's not always what you're going to get. So we know we could be in games where you have to grind it out. And we know that's probably going to be how it is the rest of the season just because everyone's fighting for the same thing, right? But for us, it's just an understanding that we're here and we're supposed to be here. We're able to play like this and have a team win. That's what it is. It's all team basketball at this point.
We saw how emotional Skylar was post game after Monday night. Was that message shared in the locker room, or did it need to be?
I mean, everyone here is super passionate, and it's not just totally about basketball. It's because we believe in one another. We have an expectation, and I think that's the passion that you see and you heard in the press conference. And I think for all of us, we came into practice, we came into the gym, we came into shoot around with a different mindset of like we want to play better. We have more to give, and that's what we saw tonight. Is there's another level that we can get to, and I think if we have that and sustain that, then we're able to be in games and close out games.
Wanted to kind of follow up on that. As leaders on this team, was there anything you did to help the team come into practice like that the next day, or was that sort of? It seemed like everyone made that decision by themselves and came in and was ready to go.
I mean, I think everyone made that decision on their own. I'd also say that, we came in with the attitude of like, this is business, This period after the break is not at all up to our expectations. And it's not necessarily about, it is, but it's not necessarily about the losses. It's about how it happens. The wins are good, but it's about how we do it. And I think we got to a point where the rubber's going to hit the road and you have to show up in the way that you want to. And so we're playing unapologetically so.
And in terms of, maybe what you say to your team or anything, Like, do you have a message to your teammates after that? Sorry, actually, let me
Sure.
restart my question.
Yeah.
How do you as leaders deal with a loss like that in terms of your message to others, balancing not getting too hard on yourself, not being too hard on yourselves and giving people grace, but also knowing it's not good enough? How do you try and find that balance, especially having done it for so long?
I mean, I think what was unique about Monday's game was, the sequence of plays at the end. And I think that that's where you give the grace because it doesn't come down to one possession. We can watch tape and see a string of possessions. We can see isolated incidents that built up to the point where now you've lost control of the game against teams that will capitalize on that. And I think there's a way to be passionate about it, like how Sky is always, and to lean into the yuck. I think that you have to lean into that because the reality is that time is running out, and you just got to show up. You got to do the job. You have to do the job. These games are going to happen whether you show up or not, so you might as well do it the way you want to. And it's about the method in the madness. And so being able to play a certain way, it's going to yield a result. But what is your process like, And so I think that being harder on ourselves in the process, I think is important. Those nuances, it adds up. I mean, look what's going on right now. Anybody can win, and that's an attitude that you have to have every night coming in, knowing that about yourself, communicating that to yourself, but then playing like that too and leading by example as a leader. Thanks.
Gabby Steele, what worked defensively on that play to force Atlanta kind of deep in the 5-second count and then for her to be able to make that play?
Mindset. They didn't tell us to do anything. We just went out there and we almost got two. We almost got 2 5-second plays. To me, after the first one, I knew we were locked in. I knew it was going to happen again. We just wanted to do it.
Question was kind of about that defensive play at the end too. There has been a lot of talk on communication with the team, and it seems like that defensive play was the combination of that communication. So can you talk a little bit about that? And when Gabby jumped to get the ball, it was right in front of the two of you. So can you give us like your point of view of that, just how high she jumped and how strong that play was?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in locker room, and we were ready. And even before I looked at Sky and like right before the ball got inbounded or tried to get inbounded, we kind of looked like, are we going to be aggressive? And she kind of looks, I'm like, she's probably going to go out. And like we said, it wasn't anything fully communicated. It was just like, whatever we got to do to get a stop. But I kind of knew once that ball was in the air, I'm like, Gabby somewhere is about to get this. Like, I know she's an athlete. And I looked around and I'm like, there she is. It was just like, yeah, like free safety. And I joke around with her all the time saying like, she's our free safety. And the moment that ball was up, I'm like, yeah, it's a steal. So.
Yeah, I have a moment with my teammates before we get our names called out. And today, was Gabby's first start. So I had to figure out what her mantra was. We all have our things that we say to each other. And Gabby said, you are who you want to be. That's what she tells herself. And she was that in that moment and so many other moments. She's our French Army knife.
Let's take a question from Christian on Zoom. Christian, go ahead with your question.
Hi, Jewell and Nneka. Throughout that first quarter, then going throughout the rest of the game, Jewell had 12 points in the first, Nneka had 10 in the second. And then in the third quarter, I believe Skylar scored or assisted on 6 of the 7 possessions to start the quarter. Could you just speak to the effect that you guys have as leaders, but also as kind of the stars of the team?
I mean, the best thing about this roster in general is that we're so versatile, and we have a lot of weapons. And there's going to be times as we've seen, like Nneka could go on and score 10 in a row. Sky gets hot, same thing. I mean, we all have that. We just need like one to go, and it kind of just snowballs. And that's really hard to guard. And, we put ourselves in good situations and we feed off that. And I think it's a really nice balance. And then when we're not, we have people coming in. I think Sadie's came in and gave us a lift, right? Like Sam, everyone comes in. So our job is to make sure that we're putting ourselves in the right situations to succeed, but also hyping each other up. Like I know I was telling Nneka, like she shoots half the time I don't rebound because I'm like, that's going in. Right. I have the confidence that she's going to make these shots all the time. So I think that helps a lot too. But it's really hard to try to eliminate all of us. At some point someone's going to go off and we're going to keep feeding them, and I believe that. And so it's really cool just to sit there and watch too. It's really cool to see, her dominate and I have to guard it. It's nice that she's on this side and to really fully appreciate everything. So pretty cool.
I think it's also important to, speaking kind of specifically to your question, that like on any given night, obviously we all know what we're capable of, but through the course of the game, ensuring that none of us turn our light switches off. I feel like, on a team where you have so much artillery, and there's tempos of the game, there's flow of the game, knowing that you always got to be on, I think is important. You made a really good point. You have one person score this much in this quarter, another person. And then at any given time, it could be all three of us, and I think that, and of course, obviously the rest of the team, but speaking specifically to your question, ensuring that our switches are never turned off, I think is something we always got to stay warm to the aggression that each one of us can offer throughout the game.
Thank you.
Hey, Jewell, out of all of the big shots that you've made, I mean, we can sort of count them off: Dallas, LA, and the Loyd bubble. Just can you rank them? And like any idea as to where this one may fall?
I don't know. I mean, right now this one matters because we won. Like I don't know. Like I know I've hit big shots before, but some of them we've lost games. And so the biggest thing right now is focusing on this year, and making sure that regardless that we're not always in those situations either to have to make all these big shots, but at the same time, I understand that. I do like those situations. I'm comfortable in those situations, but tonight was a big one because we needed this win. But like I said, it was set up perfectly. Great pass, great screen, and an execution of our offense. So I don't know. Ask me when I'm like retired or something. I don't know. Give me a better answer.
It's probably got a lot more of those to come. So, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. We'll have Coach
Thanks, everyone.
in just a minute.